how y'all doing? Today is October 30th, 2022. Yeah, for those of you who celebrate Halloween, it is Halloween's Eve. And no, I'm not dressed up for Halloween. This is just a little get up I put together. That's what I do. How's everyone today? Before I get started with this little video, I want to show off this shirt of mine. You see, this is an authentic shirt. It's authentic. I know the artist personally. She's a very talented artist. And no, she didn't ask me to advertise it. I'm doing it because I appreciate her work. So, today, may everyone be well. And I wanted to start off this video. I was inspired. My spirit touched me today and said, you know what, do a video on women's reproductive system, specifically your experience. So I'm going to start out with a pot of tea that I put on. It's cooling down now. This is a room tea. It's a room tea. Okay? And I bought this tea back at New York, and it is a company that makes this tea in the borough of the Bronx. Now I will leave their information in the link below. Okay. And the reason why I did this is because there are a lot of women suffering from, who want to get pregnant, and they may be having blockages or, whatever problems they may be having, infertility problems. Sometimes it can be just what we're eating. Sometimes it could be, and just changing something in your diet can cause you to get pregnant. But it may be time to figure out what it is. Take time to figure out what it is. Also, you may have cysts or fibroids. Some people suffer also with endometriosis. My younger daughter did suffer with endometriosis. I myself had issues with cysts. And I didn't know until one day, I had missed my cycle, which is another word for period, or your menstruation. I had missed my cycle, and I'm like, first thing came to my mind was pregnancy. Now, I had been taking precautions as I have several children not to get pregnant. So I'm puzzled as to what's happening here. I shouldn't be pregnant because I was taking precautions. And what I was doing back when I was still having babies, I was using something called the rhythm method. Now, I don't like taking. Never took birth control pills in my life. Never took a birth control pill. The only thing I did do when trying not to conceive was to get an IUD, and that stands for intrauterine device. That didn't work well for me either. That caused very bad pains in me. It felt like my insides was twisting up, and it caused me to get an infection. And it got lost. So I had to have surgery to remove that. So I also tried, and this is my personal stuff I'm revealing to y'all, sharing with us women, and some of the men who may be over here peeking and looking. They had the suppositories that you would insert vaginally. For those of us who opted not to take the pills or the implants in the arms, back then I don't think they was having the implants until later on. And so I didn't take any of those things, but I did take suppositories, which again, my body said no go. Infections, burning, horrible. So I stopped taking that. And at the time, I was the only one really dealing with trying not to get pregnant. Partners, on the other hand, had it easy, you know, which was my ex-husband. Uh, but that was then. I'm just giving you my experience of what was happening with me. So my body didn't take kindly to foreign things being taken into me. So, and I've always been natural anyway because, hey, this is how we're born. So, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I shouldn't be pregnant. And yeah, he did do some things, try not to get me pregnant. But still, it was all in my hands. So went to doctors thinking that, oh man, I'm pregnant. Don't know how I got pregnant because I'm taking all these precautions. And like I said, I was doing something called the rhythm method. Now, for those of you women who are out there who know what I'm talking about, who go the natural route and not the conventional route, that's given to women, I had to test my own body fluids, meaning that when we secrete, so there's a way of knowing when you're fertile and when you're not fertile. So, there's 14 days before your cycle and 14 days after your cycle, you test, your secretions, or you can just tell. So, but 3 days prior to, in this 14-day cycle period, 3 or 4 days prior to you ovulating, for me, that my secretions would become eggy, like the albumin, which is the clear part of the egg, protein of the egg. It would become, like that. I would test it, and it's very slimy. That's how you know you're ovulating and you higher chance of becoming pregnant. Also, your hormones feeling good and you want to procreate. That's the indication saying, you know what? The body's natural way of letting you know it's time. If you want to have a baby, it makes you feel good. It makes you give you those urges, making you want to procreate. Another word for having sex. So, I'm like, all right, so I'm testing it, and I stay away from those days, 3 or 4 day period before the egg goes up falls down from the fallopian tube, sits on the inside that uterine wall, waiting to be fertilized. Well, I stayed away. I'm saying, nah, we're not gonna fertilize you today. Sorry, nothing against you. But I don't want to get pregnant right now. I have children already. I'm not trying to do that. So go to the doctor, and they thought I was pregnant too. One lady who did a test on me, a sonogram on me, thought I was pregnant, said I was pregnant. I'm like, But then when a doctor came in who was over her, the head doctor came over, and he checked the scan, and saw that it was not pregnancy after all, it was a cyst. And then the nurse goes, oh wow, this looks so cystic. Now all of a sudden she's seeing some cystitis happening, in the reproductive area, which she didn't prior see before he got in there. So go figure, y'all. Did she know what she was doing? I don't know what she knew. Who knows? She just diagnosed me incorrectly until the head doctor came in there. But so I had to go into surgery and found out I had cysts. They had to remove a cyst from me. So, and it was called, this cyst was like a chocolate cyst. You have different types of cysts. There are there's cysts that have teeth in them and hair in them. There's cysts that have chocolate in them, chocolate filling in them. things like that, and may have other things in them. So, yeah. So for the women who I haven't ever had a problem getting pregnant, my ex-husband could just touch me and boom. As a matter of fact, I had my last child at age 29. I started very young and ended having children very young. So if anything was to happen right now with me getting pregnant, it would be a miracle, because I'm no longer in childbearing years, and also I have been celibate for almost 7 years. That's right, almost 7 years. So if a baby is coming up in here, it's gonna be some spiritual magic happening. So, and not to make fun, because, but knowing how the body works, I'm past those years, and being celibate should be like an extra, anchor saying you ain't getting pregnant. So, I just wanted to share this story about me and how I was misdiagnosed, and how, what I did was to prevent. So it did work. The rhythm method did work for me, and maybe it can work for other women. So if you're ovulating, you're gonna have a sticky. Your secretions are gonna be more sticky and slimy. That's okay. You're not in a safe zone for avoiding pregnancy. That's to get you pregnant. Now, when your consistency is watery, you're safe. So this is gonna be 3 days prior to ovulation, and after your cycle, 3 days or 4 days after your cycle, you're gonna be in these periods of hormonal increases and decreases. Sorry, y'all. The tea that I was talking about making right now is ready. So this tea. So this tea here, it comes it's a bag in here. It comes in this pouch. Okay, this pouch. And once you put it in water, it expands. It expands. And you have to submerge this tea in the water. Put it in a gallon with spring water or purified water. 1 whole gallon. Submerge it in there, and then you bring it to a slow boil for like 5 minutes, and then you let it simmer for 15 minutes. After that, let it sit for an hour, and it's ready to go. Then you can refrigerate that, because you're going to be taking this over a period of time. Now, the reason why, like I